This is take two. Um, so basically, I created a new channel. Basically, this channel is going to be about me ranting a bunch of, me ranting a bunch of shit, um, ranting or venting about shit. I'm pretty sure I'm going to vent about a lot of shit. I don't know about what to put for the background. I don't know what to put for the background shit, like the background. Like in the video, when the video is playing, like the background's gonna be like Minecraft gameplay or something. I don't know. I don't know what to put. Maybe it's gonna be like a black screen something, like a black screen or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But this first episode will be about my brain damage. Um, but before we get into that, I'm here to introduce myself. I'm not going to say my name. I'm not going to reveal my face. I'm not going to do anything like that. Um, I don't know who's going to discover this channel. Maybe nobody. Maybe some bots or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm going to change my voice, like with a voice changer, so nobody can recognize me. I don't know. I really don't know. But this channel is purely for my mental health and for me to get things off of my chest. I know there is a lot of other channels that's just like this, but this is purely for myself. There will be a lot of videos coming after this one, and this will all be public. So, yeah, I will not reveal my name, nor my face, nor anything of that leads to my identity. I don't know, like maybe my voice will still be the same, or I don't know, a voice changer like would not sound like presentable. Maybe I'll not change my voice. So here here is my voice. Okay. Is it beautiful? Anyways, let's get to the fucking topic. Okay, so brain damage. Right, I do not like having brain damage at all. My entire life I've had this brain damage ever since when I was 9 months old. No, I was not dropped as a baby, but when I was 9 months old, I got diagnosed with this thing where like when a toddler has too much fluid in their brains, like too much fluid in their brains to the point where they they have trouble speaking and learning and processing, you know. That's what I have. I had trouble. I literally had so much trouble learning to the point where I learned my first words when I was 6 years old. Yeah, that's how fucking long it took me. I don't know if I really learned how to walk at that time, but I don't know. Maybe I learned how to walk beforehand, like before when I turned 6 years old, but I don't know. I learned my first words when I was 6 years old, which was which is like pretty unbelievable, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. Um in elementary school, I would well, I was about to say that, oh, in elementary school I was sped, but I was sped my entire life. My entire life I was sped. You know, if you ever been to a school before or any public school or anything like that, a sped class is when there's like a class for people who literally cannot learn like how other normal people can. Like if someone generally cannot learn algebra or something like that, or like if someone cannot generally learn uh like the same exact things that normal people learn, in their grade, then they get put into a sped class. Not because that they're smart, no. It's because that they cannot learn. And that's what I was put through my entire life. And it was miserable. My entire school life was miserable. Not only because I was put in sped classes, but also I was being mentally and physically abused for something that I couldn't control. Like when I was in elementary school, I had this sped teacher that was horrible. Every time, whenever I tried to learn things through her methods, like for example, like there's this one time where she was trying to make me learn words through cards, like where she holds up a card with a word and then I try to spell it out or try to learn it. Um, but I remember this vividly. I remember being stuck on the word the, and I remember being stuck on it every single time. And then every time when I get stuck on it, she would always be like, boom, 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 boom. Why can't you learn? Say the word. Answer. Why can't you learn this word? Why can't you learn this word? She was yelling very loudly. It got to the point where I got very scared of her, very scared of teachers. Like, damn. Like, what the fuck? I'm a sped kid, like, you sign up to teach sped kids. Like, why the fuck are you treating me like I'm some ape, Like, what? Treating me like some dog. Treating me like I'm a fucking animal. Like, damn. Are you kidding me? But no, that's how it was treated. Um like my dad thought that I wouldn't be able to learn anything when he found out that I was diagnosed with that type of shit. Like my dad literally thought that I wasn't like my dad thought that I couldn't learn anything in my entire life because of my condition. But I proved him wrong. I learned how to speak. I learned how to do math. I learned how to learn. I know how to walk. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, father. But it's pretty understandable. I understand. Like a person being born with a big ass head, but for a different reason, too much fluid in the brain to the point where you literally cannot fucking learn. Yeah, I understand, but it was so fucking hard for me. Including in middle school. Like, damn, in middle school, what the fuck? Like, my bullying was so bad. Like, it was terrible. Like, I got made fun of. I got called brain dead every single day. Like, every time when I make mistakes, I always get made fun of. Every time when I make mistakes in my own sleep schedule, I always get made fun of. I always get yelled at for no reason. Every single time when I try to play a sport, I always get yelled at. Every single time when I try to join a fucking team, I always get yelled at. I always get bullied out of the fucking team because nobody wants me there. Nobody wants me anywhere. I remember countless times when I would always leave the classroom to fucking bawl my eyes out. I remember that. My entire middle school life was just me being bullied constantly, mentally and physically, every single fucking day. Every single day. I was also being bullied for being fat. I was being bullied countless fucking times. Countless times. For no reason. No reason. I didn't do anything wrong. No. And I was very lonely. I only had one friend one type of friend my entire life. Like literally through elementary school to middle school, I had like one type of friend. Not just one friend, but one type of friend. Like for example, in elementary school, I had two friends throughout the entire elementary school, but it was one person each time. Like for example, it was like one person throughout one part of elementary school timeline and then another person in the other timeline. You know what I'm saying? Um like in middle school it was the same thing. One type of person in one timeline, but in the other timeline it was in another person. And then in high school it was the same thing. And I was very lonely, even though that I had one friend at least, I was still very lonely, like um I didn't have that much hangouts. Um I didn't have that much pleasures like normal kids had, like I never did. I would always remember hearing people saying that, "Oh, remember that sleepover you had? Like, remember that sleepover we had? Oh, yeah, yeah, it was very fun." Or like, "Oh, do you remember going to the movies? Like, oh my God, that was so fun. Do you remember going to the mall? Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Oh, do you remember going to that place or that place or that place? Oh my gosh, it was so fun." I never had that pleasure. I never did. I would always in my room being very introverted all the time. And um, especially with my brain damage, I had trouble with my social skills. I could communicate just perfectly fine, you know, in elementary school to middle school, like later on in elementary school, I could speak perfectly fine like a normal kid. But my social skills were total shit because I was mostly lonely my entire life. Even though that my family was there for my whole life, I didn't have that much, people that I could call friends that's outside of my family. Like having friends that is outside of my family, it means more to me than having actual family members. I know that sounds crazy, but you can understand. Being around your family, yeah, that is special, but like I didn't have that much experience with like having friends that isn't a part of my that isn't really related to me. That isn't related to my DNA. And I felt like such an outcast because I was a sped kid and I had brain damage. I was broken. Um, it got to the point where like I had homicidal thoughts. I literally had homicidal thoughts because of all that. I had thoughts about killing people. I had thoughts about, grabbing a rock and bashing someone's head in with it. It's not intrusive thoughts. It's not like, oh, he makes me so mad I want to kill him. No, it was actual urges to murder someone. I'm not joking. It was that bad. And with that mixed with my brain damage, it does not mix well. No kid that young should experience that, especially with a condition that they have that's just like mine, but I had it and it was it was terrible. I suffered. I remember not eating for a long time, but that's a story for another time. I'll go into depth in that, like depth. No, I'll go into depth of that in a different video, but right now it's a brain damage. So basically, like, yeah, I experienced a lot of shit, and it didn't help in high school. In high school, it was fucking terrible. Like, it was so terrible. Like, holy fuck, it was 100 times worse in high school. I've gone through a lot of fights and shit. Like, damn. Like, people in high school, they are so stupid. They always think that for to be able to solve their problems, you need to fight this person. Go prove that you're right. Fight that person. Oh, let's run bodies with each other. Yeah? Oh, you want me to stop bullying you? Let's run bodies. Let's run bodies. Like, what the fuck? That's not how you settle things. But I was I was always getting convinced into doing that. Like, of course, I've gone through many fights, but it wasn't really normal fights. It was just like, oh, running bodies. Running bodies is like fighting, but only hitting each other's torso, like hitting each other's body, like hitting each other, it's, but like you're not allowed to hit the person's head, and you're not allowed to hit below the waistband, you know? So that's how running bodies work. Um, and it's like, it's very fucking stupid. It's the most stupidest thing I could ever partake in. But I did, because I always kept getting convinced into it, because a lot of people were bullying me, and I wanted to prove myself. I wanted them to stop bullying me, so I had to fight them. Oh, but like, that didn't really work out, because they were still bullying me after that. And they always win in the fight, because they're literally, all of my bullies are fat as fuck. They're overweight, they're obese. Like, no hate to obese people. I was literally obese myself. I was obese. I had heartburns and shit, like, I'm not fat now. I'm literally a twink now, but like, when I was like elementary to middle to early high school, I was like obese. Obese as fuck. And all of my fucking bullies were obese. They're still obese. And they they like they're obviously stronger than me, because they were obese as fuck. They had a lot of body fat. They had a lot of body mass and shit. So they can beat my ass whenever they want to. And that didn't fucking help at all. Um and like, I felt like I was such an outcast. Being a sped kid, it it felt like I belong being a sped kid, because I relate a lot to them. Like, oh, I can't do math. Well, me neither. I can't do math. Or like, oh, I had a lot of brain damage when I was young, so I can't do much. And I was like, well, me too. Like, it's like, I relate a lot to them. And I like, I really don't get the hate. I really don't get the bullying towards sped kids, because they cannot control their own bodies, like, they've been there for a reason. They can't, like, they have flaws. They have a lot more flaws than you, but they have flaws. It's a part of being human. Sped kids, even though that they cannot do algebra, like simple algebra, even though that they can't do simple things in school, that doesn't mean that you should bully them. Like, they're human. They're still human. They have flaws. Even though that they have flaws, they're still human, like they bleed red just like you. Like, come on. Like, it's very frustrating. And even with my brain damage, I got so, I couldn't learn how to drive. It's so crazy. Like, learning how to drive was very difficult because I always postponed it. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to drive," because I thought that I was too stupid to drive, even though that's very fucking simple to drive. Now, I'm actually learning how to drive. It's very simple. It's very simple. It is scary at first, but once we get comfortable with it and get to learn, and it's very simple. It's very fun. But like back then I was so scared because I thought that I was too stupid to do anything. I thought I was too stupid to do normal human shit. I thought I was too stupid to have friends. I thought I was too stupid to have as much qualities as any other person had, you know. It was a tough time for me. Even though that I sound like a normal person right now in this video, I still have a lot of complications, like I have trouble speaking sometimes. I have trouble thinking sometimes. I have trouble processing, like I can function like a normal human being. I shouldn't say normal though. Like, I can function in society, I can function normally in society, but I still have problems, Not everyone is normal. No. Like, nobody is normal. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own shit. You know, there is no normal thing. There is nothing that is defined as normal in this life or in any life. This world, there's nothing that would be considered normal. Um, and that's what I believe. And it's true. Nothing is normal. But like, yeah, I can function in society, but I still have flaws. I still have complications. Um, I still have a lot of shyness, a lot of social disabilities. I always get so nervous when trying to meet someone. I always get so shy because I always think that, oh, I'm not good enough for this person. Like, not only that I had brain damage, but also I was a massive introvert. I still am a massive introvert. But like, damn, like, holy fuck. Brain damage goes a long way. Like, I even had a lot more brain damage when I was like sophomore year of high school. I remember back in like 2022. Um, it was February in 2022, I'm pretty sure. There was like this fair that happened. And actually, I'm going to talk about that in a different video. Um, that's like a crazy ass story for a different video. But like, long story short, in that story, I had a lot of brain damage from that time, and it caused me to have more problems. But yeah, that's basically what it's like to have brain damage, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I wish I never had brain damage. But this is life, you know. You're not human without any flaws. You are not human without any flaws. That is the truth. Okay. So, have a great fucking day. That's enough of me speaking for this video. If you like it, leave a comment, I guess. I don't know. Thank you for listening.